Hello and welcome back to ESL One Battlefield. We're in the spring season and we're into our final cup, cup number 5. I'm Alex Machine Richardson and joining me at the desk is Jason Kaplan. How you doing today, Jason? You feeling good about game 2? Hopefully you're going to be a little less of a stomp maybe this time.
I hope it is.
Maybe.
I don't necessarily think it will be. It's Epsilon up against inFamous. Again, we've talked about the 3 different tiers of teams. You have the top 4, you have the ones under that, and you have the ones who are even further under that. I guess that kind of is a little bit weird to explain.
I'd say we have a top tier, top 4, and we have a mid tier of teams who...
And then we have a low tier.
Yeah, you bite your tongue.
And inFamous, I think, are in the mid tier, and top tier teams can do what we just saw against mid tier teams when you have a mid tier team up against a low tier. It's still that big of a gap, so I would expect Epsilon to win this one. inFamous, though, I'm going to actually just double check while you go ahead and tell them that we are ready to go. I want to see their points up till this point of before Cup 4, since that hasn't been updated just yet. They're actually tied for 5th, where they're in 30 points.
That's with Maximum Pro My Revenge, right? And MHSV.
Yeah, I was like, are you reading that or did you just remember that? That's impressive.
They're the mid-team teams.
Yeah. So it looks like they should be qualified in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, they should be automatically qualified in. Yeah. Because 20 points is where it gets really iffy with the bottom or the lower tier teams. So they should be qualified now, but it comes down to seeding to get into more of the easier groups. So if they win this game, they could definitely get a nice little jump in the seedings when it comes to the brackets and the groups. But it's going to be a tough match. Epsilon already number 2 right now after they beat Meteor Makers. I got further Meteor Makers did last... Actually, they did beat Meteor Makers on Tuesday. So we'll find out. We'll find out. It's a lot of... What was that? Ease?
Yeah, I was just making sure that we could really read it because they kept asking if we were ready. So I was like, ready. Let me make sure they can actually understand what I was trying to say.
It seems like they did because they restarted the map.
They did, immediately.
So the maps.
Yep, so going into our first map, it's going to be something a bit different. I have to think it's been, in fact, no, sorry. I think it's been a long time since we last saw... This microphone is too close to my mouth. Since we last saw Siege of Shanghai as a first map. It's always seemed to me has been like the decided, even maybe the second map.
I think you're right on that.
Because I feels odd going into this one as a first. So
yeah, as you can see, my notes.
It's
been beautiful notes. Yeah,
it's been an awful
we haven't
long
seen
time.
it a single time. You're right.
So this is something new. Second map, of course, will be Operation Locker, and the third, a map which we don't see all too often. In fact, we do see it. If I had to think about it, the only teams that we really do see it in is games with Epsilon. Epsilon definitely seem to have more of a kind of an aptitude on Golmud Railway, and that's going to be our third place decided. But before we even get there, we need to address the game in hand, the map in hand. Going to be Siege of Shanghai.
Oh, I got it right that time. It's so awkward when I hit the wrong button on your laptop on your keyboard. I'm just going to drop you in the game here. Let's see how this one's going to break down. Let's see how these 2 teams go, and let's actually introduce the teams for you as we do hop into game.
Okay, here we are. 9 seconds on the clock, on the countdown, as we do go on into our first game of our quarterfinal here between inFamous and Epsilon. On the blue side, Epsilon, David, Jesus, Mech. Safe and Horak. It's actually Fraud. I don't know why he's called like Jesus. Jesus.
I think he was on the Jesus team because he's not on SK anymore.
Oh, okay. And then on the inFamous side, on the Reds, the Chinese side, we have a Hysteria, Crema, Tony, Zuzu, and Rella.
All right, so looks like Epsilon will be on the US side, and we'll be pushing in forward to take on the B. You expect the Chinese side to pick up B and A off the get-go, and Horak, the only man to actually push towards it, but it seems like Epsilon have been shut down on that push towards A. Typically, you've seen them push, was it, three men across the street to hit towards A. They actually do give up B really early on, and they send that 1 man towards C. They make sure to get the cap onto that. Well, inFamous getting to an early start here, 150, 136. Haven't lost a single ticket so far. And it looks like they will finally start to lose on the first. But either way, we're really early into the game. It's about a minute in. And both teams have that battle line drawn. If you look at the overview, like down the middle, it's just a straight line of neither team crossing. But now Epsilon finally able to make the move across, able to go in towards A and look for that cap.
Yeah, and they're going to be trying to do as best they can. You can see Horak and David, this deadly duo, going to be forcing push on towards Crema. But Crema's already got backup, or he has the available backup if they choose to spawn in on him. And in fact, I think we have seen one. It's going to be Zuzu who comes on in to support. David now taking his time, realizing that the Fat B may be a bit of a better target. Already has been taken away from the inFamous side, but Rella doing his best to stand steady. Not going to happen, as now Mayek And Safe are going to claim that one for themselves. And now, David, this patience is really going to pay off because his presence alone means that they have a really easy access point to A if they ever choose to push.
And it's keeping 2, maybe 3 men back on inFamous side there, just to make sure to maintain it. And with Relay going down, he just kind of reiterates that, hey guys, I'm here, you can't ignore me. And that's actually 3 quick kills coming from the side of Epsilon. They could go for the cap on A if they want to. They seem to be taking their time. Mate gets dropped over towards B. I think Tony, a couple of BM, maybe frustration shots there. He's looking for the cap onto it, but he's still got a lot of men he has to worry about. Gets a lot of respawns in, and they're going to push for the flag. They're looking for the take. And it's up to killing this one man here that's defending to do it.
Start already. Zuzu does neutralize Fraud, and now you can see they're kind of forced to fight their way back in. Mayek doing his very best to try and find an opener. Gets the spot through the smoke, but not going to get the frag, though, as the Ace 23 from Cramo just a little too strong. And already A and B still flying again now for inFamous. They managed to get that retake, and you can see the price it cost Epsilon. It's now Jesus. I'm going to keep calling him Jesus. Damn it, Fraud. You and your name. He's going to try and make his way back indoors using that showroom as any sort of cover he can get. You can see already that engineer class that was utilized by Horek, I believe, in the early stage of this game to kind of clear out and make the C site as open as possibly can. All it's done really is kind of given them a bit of a disadvantage because the cover that Horek and Epsilon would have used has instead been completely diminished and taken away.
Horek looking for the push on the A, but can't really accomplish much there. And honestly, inFamous are really starting to step up here. Really starting to get some sort of momentum going. Credit to them, too. I mean, we kind of had favorites. I know I had Epsilon pinned as a favorite in this one, clearly. And yet they are struggling. You know, you have to keep in mind, Duke is not here playing. Apparently he's having internet connection problems. Though it didn't seem like it from last what I saw, him streaming some Counter-Strike Go. Either way, Fraud trying to step up for his team, or trying to step up for the team. Trying to really kind of fill the shoes that, that Duke was able to bring to him. And so far, it seems like they've just become a completely different team without that one man.
Yeah, it can make a difference. I mean, he's not necessarily underperforming himself. You can see picking up a frag just there with that ace, and he's also got about 5 kills under his belt already. But site-wise, finally Epsilon made a move for A. Not something we've seen him do too much. I think closest already was David, who kind of hung around the sidelines here, but this time they're trying to make a commitment for the site. And already Zuzu is just around the corner. Nades raining, and they want to try and connect, but I think there's a little bit of a tight angle that the Nades can't quite find. And they're backing away. Looks like it's going to be just Zuzu, and all of a sudden you can see with the B side being captured over as well.
That's a lot of men still sticking towards A.
It's a big stack.
3 people, you hardly ever see that kind of route, but I think that's just due to the fact that Epsilon haven't been able to get the information towards that B site to see how many people were there defending / attacking. Now, see flag being capped over. This means Epsilon should start to push out from A towards any other flag. And they haven't been able to pull it off just yet, and there's actually Zuzu deep in the enemy lines at the A flag, able to pick up 1 kill, and he's going to be able to cap the A flag in the meantime.
Yeah, and that's the kind of play you need to have a player like that. Zuzu seems to be very persistent and in pushing on towards this A flag, and he has managed to net his team a kill, a site, and try and perhaps give them a positional advantage as they look to close in now on that B side. B side in the meantime has, of course, been retaken by the Epsilon side. We'll see for how long, as already Horek seems to be having a bit of a tough issue, trying to keep just himself alive. Just drop a health kit, and it's going to be holding steady on that. It's now time for the red side, the inFamous side, to try and maybe find an avenue across this street. Already cost them 3 deaths, so you can see a near squad wipe coming out, and they're going to have to spawn in and group up and try and make a push, because there's a big stack of Epsilon players at B.
A huge stack. 4 people just kind of sitting there by the side. They have the A flag. They're going to have a tri-cap for a split second or two. And they haven't been able to cap C just yet, at least for the side of inFamous. But it's all good for now, because they're going to get some sort of lead back. Look at that, 70 to 79. It was, what, 80 to 120 before that? They've clawed back quite a few tickets. They're starting to build up momentum that they need. And on inFamous, this is the real question, or this is the real test for them. Can they get this swing back in their own hands? Can they stop Epsilon from just running away with this game?
I think they certainly can. It's going to be no easy task, though. As with the A flag captured over, they have both B and C. And then the question remains, what's your next move? inFamous, who managed to have such a strong start in this game, already now looking at a very equal, in fact, slight disadvantage set of tickets. 67 to 61, 6 tickets separating them, but the advantage is still now in the hands of Epsilon, and that's come primarily because of these 2 individuals on your screen, the 2 players on double digits, 13 and 11, make it 12 respectively, and Mek gets a double. And I mean, these 2 Epsilon individuals seem to be having no issue in picking up the frags in that central area and bringing home the cap.
Now inFamous, they're falling behind here. 17 ticket difference. And they're struggling here. They're really unable to get any of these flags back, it seems. Epsilon with one-man Mayek, just kind of like a turret for his team, holding on to this area and just constantly kill anyone that kind of comes towards his path. And if you can depend on Mayek to do that, it frees up 4 other men to push in towards these other flags, which, you know, Mayek rotating again in was able to help pick up a couple of kills towards B. He's going to be able to hold on to that for a little bit longer. And this lead, that they were down 40 tickets, they're up 30. And it's showing no signs of stopping.
I mean, 64 to 27, all that means is that inFamous, from having a good 30, even 40 ticket advantage early in this game, have really lost control. That, or of course Epsilon have taken control. I mean, it's probably an essence of both, but to me, it's going to come down to individuals, and you know how much I like to kind of favor individuals. The man on your screens now, as I tried to cut to Mayek, he did actually die. But I mean, 18 kills, that is a vast majority for just one individual. It's now 59 to 22. They have managed to kind of retake one of these 2 sites on A and C, but it looks like that's not going to last too long as Frod's already on the C.
Yeah, I'm definitely not sure how long it will last, but Zuzu, well, he will get lit up by Fraud and will fall from that. And that should allow the C5 to be capped over. You even have Fraud just pushing up a little bit further, getting a little bit more aggressive, trying to get a little bit of a better angle. Mayek does clean up that kill yet again towards C. So B and C back picked up for the side of Epsilon, and the tickets are falling away from inFamous. 15 left to go. And they only have 1 spawn in. So realistically, we're looking at about a 52 ticket lead at the end of the first half for Epsilon. inFamous, unless they can push towards a flag ASAP, there'll be no way for them to stop this bleed. And they will have a pretty significant number to come back from in the second half.
Looks like it's going to be 52 unless they cap this B flag now. You can see it. The meter is going to go down in the nick of time. It's going to stop the bleed. And now maybe, just maybe, they can slice this down a couple. You can see Epsilon are holding on to those respawns as best they can, hoping Mayek and Frod can do it all for them. But one man does choose to join them. It's going to be Horak. And what was 52 is now already 45. It's falling fast. And just that 9-minute mark now, and you can see the kind of little bit of a fear in the Epsilon eyes as this could go horribly wrong if they don't close this gap and close it fast.
A lot of times we've seen games like this where you know, a team's up 50 tickets and they drop down to like 10 or actually even losing. Has happened quite a few times. Epsilon definitely one of the teams that it's been kind of haunting them in their past. But look at that. Fraud looking for the kill. He can't get the shots just yet. Looks for the second. And he will get that kill, but it will be traded 1 for 1. And inFamous, they're just not dying. They're getting revives in. And they're forcing Epsilon to use every ticket they have to get the respawns back in. And inFamous very well could pull off a first-half victory with 4 tickets.
They have shaved 30 tickets now off of that scoreline for Epsilon, and it's going to continue to shrink. And finally, a ticket does tick away, but Epsilon, they can't find a way in. Beautiful cap and control from inFamous, and I mean, it's been a bit of a kind of uphill struggle for them so much in the mid-game, but still, 20 tickets now remain, just 3 for inFamous, but they've used their 4th so very well before. It's going to be 16 now. That's about 40 tickets. Another squad wipe. That's 2 in a row now. Epsilon, they're just losing so many men and so many tickets so fast. You're right. This could very well be a very slight lead for inFamous.
Wow, if they can pull this back here, Rella gets a nice position, gets one that will cost him a ticket when he goes for the respawn back in. But if they keep this up, they're going to come out with the victory as long as they can hold this final push. Epsilon too slow to go for any of these flags. That will be it. inFamous are going to come out with a 2-ticket lead unless they are forced to use this respawn, which I imagine they don't even need to. What the hell just happened? inFamous going to come back by 1 ticket.
That's insane. 1 ticket. Feels odd to be writing down considering we had a 137 ticket advantage in the game prior. 1 ticket. And I mean, from having just 4 tickets and the enemy having 52, inFamous step up to match the pressure applied by Epsilon. Beautiful performance there from the entire inFamous side, and it's really displayed in their score. Look at that. There's about 3 frags separating the top and the bottom fragger there for the French side, and really strong performance from them. And I mean, don't discount the Epsilon game. It was, of course, very powerful play from them, but it also was a case of just really maybe undercompensating or overcompensating.
I think underestimating, maybe. We even had inFamous kind of wrote off in this, saying that, yeah, they're like a mid-tier team. They're not high-tier like Epsilon are, and high-tier teams can still stomp mid-tier teams like the game we saw prior. And yet they came back from a 50-ticket deficit. You know, then again, they had a 40-ticket lead and lost it. Then they went behind by 50, and then they pulled out by 1. So a very back and forth game, but not as solid as we kind of need to see it of them. But nonetheless, it's a win. But they've got to do it again in the second half.
Yeah, they really are, and kicking this one off with perhaps a bang. We're gonna have to see if inFamous can perhaps, I mean, approach this with a bit more caution, because that start from them was so very good. But as soon as Epsilon started hitting their stride, they seemed to be having issues controlling the 5-man squad, at least until the last 4 tickets. So yeah, inFamous, play as you did in the last with your last 4 tickets, and we could be having a game on our hands.
No, guys, that's not a typo on the screen. 1 ticket. Yeah. That is actually 1 ticket. Didn't you catch a game with Pansy once that went down that low?
Twice.
It was like between Mutual Makers and,
it was insane.
And Epsilon?
Yeah.
Or was it Dignitas and Mutual Makers? It was one of the 2.
All I remember is we had 1 on our screen, and then we proceeded to have 1 on our screen again. Like, it was a case of just 2 tickets separating the 2 teams. It was awesome. So yeah, I mean, Battlefield can really come down to the wire. I didn't know. Also, it can also not. That, you know, there could be a country mile between the 2 teams, and
or like 137 tickets.
Exactly. We've seen quite literally 2 ends of the spectrum in just 2 games. And so kicking this one off, guys. 4 seconds on the countdown. Not live.
Nope.
Is not what I wanted to hear. But still, we are going to be waiting.
Or spamming HDD or HHD.
Hard drive. Hard disk drive.
But I don't know what that means.
That's what HDD stands for. Hard disk drive.
I know that, but I don't know what it means in the case of
Battlefield gaming. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, so it looks like it was a crash.
Oh, we lost a player. I don't know. I don't know how long that's going to be. I'll grace you guys with some sick camera action until then.
You do some Sherlock Holmes?
No. Just some kind of like Hollywood movie star. Boom.
Did he reconnect that quickly?
Possibility. What was that? Someone in the chat said high definition. High definition drive. maybe that's it. Dark State.
Yeah, if you guys are just wondering, this is you play out both halves of a map, so you get to play both sides and have some sort of, or you know, take away any advantage that the other team could potentially have had by being on one side. Makes it even. Then you have a best of 3 with 3 maps. So you win basically 4 halves and you're through. I guess it's the way you call it.
Yeah. 4 halves make a hole. In really bad maths.
2 holes.
2 holes. And so I think we do have our 5-man coming in very, very shortly. Our 5th man, sorry, would make a lot more sense. As I mean, this is going to be a real... It's set to be a fantastic game. Primarily because we kind of sold inFamous a little short. We said, you know, oh, don't expect too much. Expect Epsilon to perhaps produce us a bit of a stop. I've always been a bit of a believer in inFamous. I have some very strong players in their lineup. But, I mean, this is Epsilon. This is the grand finals of the offline stages Epsilon. These are no stranger to the main stage, whether it be online or offline. And so going into this... It's a game they should win on paper. It's a game, of course, inFamous, a team who are renowned to be producing upsets throughout the history of this game and the history of this league. So, yeah, could go either way. 1 ticket certainly indicates just that. And it's going to be really fun finding out who's going to take it.
Well, it looks like there's not exactly sure on the ETA of the last player. So what we're going to do is show a nice little video again. We're going to show what happened in the summer season Battlefield, when we're back at Gamescom, where Fnatic did take that victory. So guys, we'll be back in just a few minutes, and we're going to kick off the second half of our first map, and we'll see you in just a second.
Welcome to ESL One Battlefield Grand Finals.
If he's not spotted, this could be very dangerous, but with the shots coming in, they have to know he's there, and he's going to get the kill on the Fraud somehow after being shot first. He's looking for the second one, and he will secure that one safely.
right now. Ducky trying to take one down, does eventually. It took cost him a whole magazine though. He's gonna head into the container to get a second. Fantastic work.
Which I think will be A unless Valu can do the job. He gets one, gets the second. Big play from Valu.
It's game on time here at ESL One for the grand final of Battlefield 4.
Rightfully though, they're not going to stick around. They're going to start rotating towards B.
Oh, Drunk! He's going on a rampage! 3 kills coming in. I don't know. He's not being taken out just yet. As you can see, he's 5-1 here. Only coming around the corner for more. He's got the blood in his eyes.
Oh my!
Once more, he gets a 6-1 as well.
Unfixed as well. Big players. They're getting so very close. This is danger.
That's it. They're gonna win it. It was very well. It was so easily done by them.
Ladies and gentlemen, the champions of Season 3, ESL One, Fnatic!
All right, well, we are back. And it looks like the 5th man has reconnected back in. Let's go and tell them to start this thing up. Because you know what? We want to get underway with this game. We want to see how this game will go. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
So, Alex.
So, Jason, we're going into this one with a big smile on our faces, hoping to see that whether the underdogs can prevail or whether or not we're going to be seeing Epsilon continue.
What was the lead at the end of the first half?
Oh, it was just one ticket, Jason.
It's one ticket.
One.
Like,
it feels odd to see it when the graphic does get put up. Like, you know, that very small number. It blows my mind because we're so used to seeing, like, what, 40, 50 tickets, maybe? That's like, well, yeah, and I'm trying to think of average. If you had to average it out, what would you reckon? Like, probably 50, 60.
I'd say like 60.
Yeah, 60 tickets. Like, so when we come down to one, if you guys have just joined the stream and don't necessarily watch it all the time, this is unusual.
Shame on you, first of all.
Yeah, first of all, shame on you. But second of all, I mean, this is a cracker of a game. This is a perfect example of just how exciting the Battlefield quarterfinals can be. Never mind even the grand finals. We're here just in the quarters here, and it's set to be a fantastic clash of the Titans. inFamous up against Epsilon. Just 48 seconds before we kick this one off, and I mean, I couldn't predict this one considering how well I saw inFamous play in just those last few seconds. I think any prediction that we would have made prior to this game has just been blown out of the water.
Your driving skills right now are blowing me out of the water. Oh my gosh, you haven't hit a single thing yet.
Thank
you. I might have just jinxed you.
You have.
Oh.
I'm making it more difficult for myself. I'm going low. Oh my!
Yeah, I went back high. Come on, you gotta practice. It's like Star Wars. You're like going through the trenches of the Death Star.
Check this weave out. Oh no!
And good thing you're not Luke Skywalker because he would have failed.
I'd have hit that tree.
You would have hit many things there, as we just saw. But either way, inFamous on the US side, Epsilon on the Chinese side. inFamous, that is right. One ticket lead at the end of the first half after being down 50. Let's see if they can pull up a steadier game this time.
Let's see if they can start with a bang already. You can see gunfire has been exchanged. No one yet to go down, though, as Crema is considering a push on towards this A site. You can see one holding at the back line. It's going to be Zuzu. So Crema at the forefront of the push, but looks like it's going to be a 1-for-1. Rella trying to come out on top, but he does. Fraud picked up one as well. So far, just one apiece for these teams. As finally the revive comes in from Horuk to try and negate some of that, and it does just that. As we kick this one off, Epsilon starting with the AB hold.
The Epsilon, I think, are much stronger on that Chinese side than on the US side. I think we're kind of seeing that right now. They haven't lost a single ticket just yet. They've taken away 24 from the side of inFamous. And finally actually lost out on a couple men, so finally they're going to be able to start to eat out the lead Epsilon has. But again, one ticket, it's basically turning this whole game into one half takes it all. First half, not really going to matter too much. One ticket doesn't really buy you that much into this one. Now, though,
yeah, this is
still sitting with like a 20-ticket lead. They're still looking pretty good. They've lost A, so they need to get something back. But the respawn's coming in towards C from the backside. Mayek going to be rushing straight into it.
This is essentially like a second first half, if that makes sense. It's the second first half with the knowledge you've gathered from the first half. So here, Mayek is going to finally connect the bullets. It cost him 20 from his magazine, but he did finally take him down. And I had to pause and think whether it was a magazine or a clip then. As we had a lesson in the previous broadcast where we learned the difference between both a clip and a magazine. Well, obviously a magazine's made of paper and you read it, but now
and a clip's made of
metal. And nice.
And it helps you on Office back in.
God, learning English must be difficult, mustn't it? We have so many backwards words.
Like sun? What am I talking about?
Your biological heat producing,
producing light emitting child. Well, either way, Epsilon sitting on 2-1, 138 to 114. Back with the hold. You got Zuzu, who has yet to get on the board, currently sitting at 0-1. Tony sitting at 0-3. On the other side, Meg at 4-2 to kind of lead his team so far. But relatively slow game in terms of kills for now. But I would imagine that would change with Kremlin now coming in towards B, with the push coming in out of inFamous, looking for the man that they need to kill on the back of site. And that will allow them to take the B flag. Now actually even trying to push in towards C. Tony getting really ballsy here.
Okay, what have you got for us, Tony? Light shining in his eyes. But that's not going to stop him from trying to train on that location. Oh, as soon as we cut away, he did get just ripped apart. That's going to be the C flag secured for the Epsilon side, but already inFamous, they're happy with the AB hold, and they're going to continue to maintain this and maybe try and close that gap that's already been created by Epsilon.
They should be able to do it. They've done it actually in the first half alone, where they kind of fell behind in the beginning. And then they kind of lost that lead, and then they ended up getting it back by 1 ticket at the end. Look at that, Rella trying to defend A. He's going to be pushed in from a couple different directions here. He's got to pick up this first man off to the side. So just a pistol, can't connect the shots. But he does get a squad spawn on top of him, which is going to help things out a little bit. But he still can't connect anything. He's finally going to get the kill on a fraud with that 93R. But will be killed from the backside by Safe either way. Now A going to actually not be turned over just yet, since they have Krema still there. But they're going to be trying to pick up the flag on the B. They have secured it, but inFamous is already there in return.
Yeah, they're doing the very best. In fact, look at that. I think Tony might just be able to do it. There is a man now on the scene. Who's it going to be? In fact, I say a man, there's 4 of them. Warwick just acting as that spawn beacon, waiting for his teammates to come to back him up. And Tony, you're so vulnerable. Where is your cover? He's going aggressive. It's not going to pay off, as it's Mayek to come out on top of that 1v1. And now Rella trying to catch someone over on towards this truck area. Not going to find anything just yet, but I mean, looking towards the inFamous side, they have managed to somewhat establish dominance, but of course, with the AB hold, it's going to be a very short-lived one if they're not too careful, as Horek is on A, and they're opting to take C in return.
They're trying to take C, and looks like Krema might be able to pull this off, as you see him onto the top side, trying to actually dodge that nade coming in. And either way, he will drop from that, unfortunately, but that's C maintained out of Epsilon. They're still keeping these 2-1s, only to up about 20 tickets. But when only you have to worry about 1 ticket at the end of things, you'll take 20 any day of the week. Arilla trying to fight back, trying to push back towards the middle. We're still waiting for a lot of respawns to come in on the side of inFamous. They're still down 3 men, and they've been struggling to keep all 5 alive. They've been struggling to have that kind of 5-man push in towards these flags to turn them over. And they might even lose that on B. They're not even sitting on top of it. It's being kept right in front of their eyes.
Yeah, they're really struggling to keep the 5 alive, but they'll try and thrive here on the site. As now Horek does pick up another one with the AEK. You can see Hysteria and Tony, this kind of duo of inFamous members, just constantly acting for the retake, opting to try and hold as strong as you can on this B side, because it's so difficult to hold. There's so many angles from the street. As Rella is going to come charging around the corner, barreling around the corner, and actually it's Tony to pick up the frag.
I'm just trying to imagine in real life seeing someone run like that. We're just all of a sudden do a 360 or a 180 out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I would fall on my face just flat every time. Make, though, able to make things work, picking up the first kill over towards the A push if they want to kind of contest it. They have actually quite a few men around the A5. They have 2 coming in from the back, Make coming in from the front, and looking to just completely lock down this push. Now it comes down to here's a lot of communication. Who's going to push in first? Oh, look at that Rella. He's on the other side of the bush. He's being shot from the backside, Make. He's trying to get that little bit of healing and trying to get some sort of cover, and he's alive for now. And his teammates who came in from the back actually pick up the kills behind him, which is allowing Make to look towards this direction, but he can't pick up the kill. He'll be taken down by Rella, and Fraud taking a lot of hits to his face on top of that. inFamous going to secure the A flag back, and they've maintained a 2-1 hold.
But the tickets tell a different story. 48 to near 90 of Epsilon, and I mean, we've seen them do it before. We'll see if they can do it again as they go into this one. As I can only, if anything, I have to doubt the power that inFamous possessed to do it twice. They did it once before. See if they can do it again. As Horek is taking the long route, he's taking the long and slow route down the promenade, admiring the view.
That's a really tall building.
It's a very long walk as well, man. That wouldn't be... Look at that. Ooh.
I'd be out of breath by the time I got halfway across that. Like,
I've got here, guys.
But look at that. Look what's netted him, though. That long run has allowed Hort to get in directly towards A without even being spotted. Confused. And that's a free flag for them. Well
Tony
played.
was like, I've got this. I've got the
no one's going to do that.
No one's going to get across. And Horek is just going to laugh that one off. What's he got? What have you got for us, Tony? You want to try and get revenge on the man that snuck behind you and checking his angles. Knows there's just one man standing between him and that A flag. He needs it now. As the frags are coming in left, right, center, the spot has come in. He knows he's just around the corner, but why is he holding this angle? Finally, he comes in. It's going to be 1-for-1. Mano el mano, and they're just throwing bullets at each other. No one yet to go down as the squad members come in to back him up. He called for it, and he got it as Hysteria takes that one. But look at the price it may have cost them.
It might have cost them B. Zuzu at the back of sight, just trying to stay alive, trying to heal up. And look at that jump. Did he
He got killed. He got killed. He got killed. Must have.
Okay, he did get killed. Just see the bullet flying in, but that's left him a little bit light towards B. Krema gonna fall as well. Meg has light him up. And now Zuzu trying to do something. He's just getting toyed with here inside that grate and does get killed from the back with a second kill coming in for Meg. So last man in the squad for Tony, B and C picked up. And look at this, 66-33. Wow. If inFamous have any sort of luck in them like they had in that first half, they need to start mustering it up now.
And these spawns from inFamous are not going to give them any sort of favors, or not doing them any favors, as Krema is going to come darting around the corner. Meg had no chance in that one as he gets caught with his trousers down his ankles.
Why are they down in the middle of a war? Come on, Meg, what are you doing, man?
Concentrate, Meg! And it's 23-66. They did it before. They had 4 to play with in the previous time. Now they have 23, and I wouldn't write inFamous out of this song just yet.
Definitely can't write him out of this song just yet. But now Tony, he's trying to stay alive here behind this pillar. The writer of this song is trying to write him out of it. He's not done just yet. He's trying to keep his hopes in there. He's trying to stay in the chorus. And Tony, I can't think of anything. I thought I had something.
If there was a bridge, you could be talking about the bridge, but there isn't. As now.
I was trying to think of a song that had the name Tony in it. Well, either way, inFamous are struggling here to get some sort of cap back. They're going to be able to get C. They will hold on to this for now. Remember that you said before, they had 4 tickets left to work with, and they took 50 away from Epsilon before. They could maybe pull it off again with 18 remaining on the board, but it's going to be tough. Epsilon are fighting back. Meg has a perfect flank towards that C flag if he can pull this off, and inFamous have to step it up.
They're going to be doing the right things, all the right things in all the right places. That's a big one. Surely not going to get another. It's not going to happen. As actually the Rex from Safe keeps his team just that. As now 17-41. They're already starting to slice down the Epsilon tickets, but the C flag is under scrutiny. It's going to be taken straight away, but finally you can see Hysteria is in a prime spot. He gets the hip fire of his life, as he is going to be picking up a second onto that one, and that's going to open up the B site so very easily for his team to cap over. 12-38 now. Don't forget that one ticket that inFamous secured from the first half could very well be the saving grace if Epsilon fall below 1. What? How does that work?
You just lose. You get 0.
So it's just a first half.
It's like how it should end, where immediately they drop below it, then it ends.
Right. Okay. Felt odd coming out of my mouth. When they fall below 1, yeah, I mean, yeah, technically, I guess that's right.
Well, right now, inFamous 7-27. They've got 1 flag to their name. They need a second, though, as they try to push in towards C, but Zuzu is going to be unsuccessful with this, and that's almost a squad wipe. That's actually going to do it. inFamous, there's no way they can really get this one back, though. You don't have a 2-to-1 hold, and Epsilon just going to scrape by with 27 tickets and secure themselves that first map.
That was not an easy task for Epsilon by any means, as they do finally secure the victory that they were so desperate for. But man, I mean, in chat, GG, well played, most definitely GG, as Epsilon v inFamous. Who'd have thought it would have gone that close? Beautiful play from both teams. Epsilon did kind of slip up where they shouldn't have, but in the end, we do see Epsilon prevail in Game 1. Game 2 is going to be here on Locker. You can see on your screens now. And if we need it, the third, Golmud Railway. I swear we haven't seen that map in forever, Jason. I feel like it's been kind of at the bottom of the map pool from most teams. They haven't opted to choose it too much.
Yeah, remember we see it every once in a while from a couple of teams. Like we saw it on Tuesday. I'm trying to remember what team it was off the top of my head. It was Fnatic. They actually chose that map. They're actually one of the few teams, Fnatic and Epsilon, I think, they actually choose Golmud Railway.
I think you're right.
Which is a little bit odd. It kind of shows that they're trying to force teams to play where they're not comfortable. And that's kind of what happened within the first season, where it's like you saw Zavod the most out of any map, Dawnbreaker like a close second, Operation Locker. Those are typically like the three you would always see. And then Golmud Railway, like Langkang Dam, Siege Shanghai were the ones that were kind of just the oddball out. And then, other teams started to realize, hey, why not kind of go for it? Why not, pick up one of these maps that the teams aren't prepared for and pick up an easy, 1-0 lead?
Yeah, I think it makes sense to pick it. It's a map that has a lot of teams split down the middle. Some love it, some hate it, and we know Epsilon certainly do love it. They've got a great play. I don't think I'm going to forget quickly their 4-man stack to cap that C flag at spawn. Actually, we do seem to be waiting for a member of Epsilon who has mysteriously vanished. The mystery
Safe.
Has,
I remember he had problems not last.
Was it Safe who had problems last time?
I remember he kept crashing a couple times. Apparently, admin's got to get his belt out. Start to beat some people from some things they're saying in chat on the server. All good fun though. Blinking lights.
It's a very bright light. And so high up, like how do we access that light? Like if I wanted to press any of these buttons, I'd have to.
What's the notification of? Like go back and down.
Go down?
Yeah, go down and go backwards. Like move away from it. So like you're coming from the outside and you're like, oh, there's lights blinking. That must mean the jail cells are open.
Oh, okay. So we stay away from the jail cells. Okay, we're learning.
Or maybe that's just it's a light meant for like people like me who are really tall.
But this is a jail, right? I see lots of like kind of.
Yeah, like there's a jail.
Oh yeah, security
there's, like,
cells,
mess hall.
high security cells. So that must be that's where the B site is. The security cells, isn't it?
Hmm?
It's down here. You go down these stairs and you go check on your inmates. But you don't want your inmates to slip over, of course. You don't want them to.
I thought we agreed that says no breakdancing, or that is a breakdancing area.
Okay. So there's escaped convicts around it somewhere. Let's find
I remember looking at the flags last time and wondering where the wind was coming from.
Yeah, I remember that. Where do they keep the inmates, man? This looks quite high security. Oh. Adventure has come to a close. As now 35 seconds. Finally, we have Safe back in the server. We're going to be able to get underway with our second game. Or sorry, second map here in our second game. 29 seconds on the clock, and one day I'll actually get all of that right. Like second maps, first half, third game.
You're getting the pieces right.
Yeah, I've got the pieces. Just need to put them together fluently. Soon.
It's the 5th cup in our first season of the new year, our 6th season overall, in the second game of cut number 5 in the first half of the second map. Nailed it.
Ladies and gentlemen. Like, I mean, maybe they don't understand, unless they cast, they wouldn't understand how impressive what you've just done is. That was really nice. Round of applause for Jason. Take a bow as we do go into our second map first half. I couldn't even do that. You're a master of your craft. As we go into this one, why don't you walk us through what we can see?
Well, we are seeing Epsilon over on the US side struggling to actually get something going in towards middle, but they've been able to push up towards C with Hork. And it looks like it was maybe uncontested out there. I'm really surprised the inFamous not put any single person out towards that area to kind of get some sort of knowledge. They committed all their eggs in their basket towards B. And it looks like they actually be successful in it. So inFamous going to get the early 2-1. And Epsilon going to be playing from the cold. We've seen a lot of teams do this recently. You take A, you take B, and playing from the outside in is very, very hard to do. Especially if you have that one man back towards the back of B to watch the respawns, which they do have now. Yeah, back there on the right. Who's that man? Tony. Kind of watching for these back respawns to come in. So as long as they can kind of hold these entrances, then these are going to be a lot of free kills and honestly a big ticket lead for inFamous. Yeah, this is ideal play from inFamous here on Locker. As you can see, Safe just crawling away. Desperate not to be spotted out just yet. Wants to have that element of surprises. What if you had to play it? That was a rule. You had to probe the entire way around the map.
It wouldn't last long. Oh, sorry. Well, it probably would actually last long because it would take them like 10 minutes to get to C.
We're 45 minutes in. It's 108 to 76.
Yeah. Can you imagine them push from spawn all the way to C, just crawling? Oh my lord.
It's a big commitment, you know.
Yeah, big commitment for that C flag. It's now already A and B flying for inFamous. They've only conceded 10 tickets so far, and that's a very strong second map start. I'm just gonna stop trying. As Horek dropping that big kit. You can see he's one of the few players that still opts to contain or keep that old-fashioned kit since the nerf.
I think it just goes with his play style. If I remember correctly, like when you're under suppression fire, then you don't heal as quickly anymore, but he kind of plays by himself. So if he kills someone, then he's going to get a free heal really quickly because he won't be shot at by anyone else. Wow. Wow. Kremla getting caught off there. Great shot coming in out of Horek. And that should be C and A picked up, but Sonova just said there's still one man on inFamous' side on the outside. Rella won't pick up the kill and won't live to fight another day, but not sure if it's going to last much longer. He does get a second kill, and that's going to allow here inFamous in just a few seconds to potentially push in towards the C flag and get that one back in their hands.
Now 1v1, it's going to be a tough one for the members over one towards the B side. You can see it's going to be his steer. In fact, I say 1v1. Look at this, there's way more coming in now. It is just Horek on his own, though. You said exactly that lone wolf, lone ranger kind of style of play, and his teammate does just get eliminated. And now it all falls down.
People are giving me cookies in chat for nailing that earlier.
Yeah, it was impressive.
So proud.
I mean, B and C, they have managed to level out the tickets, but inFamous, with this hold as well, they've basically gone from holding A and B and pushing them outside to pushing them way, way back into this hallway, which can work, but it can also mean, or give the defending side a little too much flexibility, too many options to have to kind of hold.
I'm really surprised at how well inFamous is playing. Like they, I mean, you have to keep in mind, Epsilon, they're playing without their fifth man. They're playing with Frog instead. Not sure if he's a replacement or if it's just Duke having a couple of rough days with his internet. But if he's gone, let's just kind of imagine if Duke does, you know, lead the team or something, maybe it's kind of something in the future, that would be a huge like loss to their team. Just the fact that they're losing to like a mid-tier team, Epsilon not looking as strong as they did prior.
Perhaps. I mean, inFamous are a strong lineup, and I think if anything, if ever there was a mid-tier team who could start maybe, you know, really pushing for the top, I think inFamous are one of them, and they're displaying exactly why right now. 117 to just 80 from Epsilon, and I mean, do keep in mind that it was such a narrow game on Siege of Shanghai. Epsilon did just pip them at the post, and so you can see already inFamous hungry for that third map.
They're looking for it, and they do have, what, 41 tickets now in their favor. And Broad being very patient over towards A. He's actually, I think, the sole man to defend against that. He is. Well, if this team pushes out towards C, it seems like Epsilon just are not sure of what to do. I'm not sure if Safe's calls just aren't being followed or if he's just being relatively quiet. But this isn't the Epsilon that we've known. I mean, I don't take away from Epsilon or from inFamous. They're playing pretty damn well here. But I think we can both agree Epsilon are just kind of not the team we expected to be coming in.
Yeah, no, not by any means. And what is this from Rella? Interesting position from him. He wants to try and look towards staircase with just very little of him on show. And you can see Tony, he's been kind of caught off guard here because they are being pressured from behind. Surely he's going to be able to spin around if Zuzu makes the call, and he has. And now Zuzu just holding the angle as best he can. You can see how cautious he is. He knows he's going to get pressure. It's going to be Horek, and I wouldn't want to kind of try and defend a Horek push, as he is just the best of the best, cream of the crop. He's going around. He's surely going to come out on top. He doesn't, though. Beautiful play from Tony. Takes double. It's actually David to fall as well, and now over on the other side of things, the sub Fraud fluffs his shots.
That's not what we want to see out of him. Kind of step in the hands of Duke, who was definitely a solid player of their team. The man to step up when Meg left the team as the fragger, actually, the one who'd roam around and just pick up kills alone. And he's going to be pushing in. I thought he killed a teammate there for a second, but gets Kremla, which does potentially allow the push back in towards A. They're still sitting on a 2-1 against them. A 46 to 111 inFamous, looking at a giant scoreline with 3 frags coming in, maybe the 4th. It could allow Epsilon to finally start capping their flags. They will, in fact, get C. They will pick up another kill with David. And they could go for the tri-cap, but they have to be careful of B because the respawns that come back in, Epsilon aren't even watching for those random respawns that come in from behind them at B. And now they realize their mistake.
Man, 1-for-1 exchange. I love seeing that in Battlefield. This travel time from bullet to can really can make it interesting. Now, Horek, what have you got for us? Absolutely nothing at the moment, as he's the last man in the squad, but just 2 kills so far. Died 9 times as well for his troubles, and we saw before him fluffing the shots he wouldn't expect to see him fluff. And I mean, look at the scoreboard from inFamous. 3 members, to make it 4, sorry, are all about to hit or have already hit that double figures mark. Tony, congratulations, welcome to the 10 club. Now he's going to be holding on towards that B side. He's going to get pressured by, I believe it's Fraud, but I mean, he's been avoided for far too long with far too many kills. Far too little kills. There we go. That's what I was trying to say.
I mean, he's sitting on the top of the scoreboard, I guess, for his team at 9 kills, but that's not enough. I feel like it's not even just him that's underperforming. It's the majority of Epsilon not performing well. And inFamous just taking complete advantage of that. Again, don't take anything away from them. They're doing a great job of taking these 2 caps and punishing Epsilon for missing shots / not being at the right time, or right place at the right time. And Epsilon trying to push back in towards it. They have 4 men here. They're committing a lot of resources into this up against the 2 who are defending it. And Zuzu able to pick up a double there, and that will eventually close them off, but Rella's now already here to help out. The respawn in perfectly timed, and they should maintain this A flag.
Wow, inFamous, they have done such a good job already here on Operation Locker. A flag is under contention. It's going to be finally capped back over by Rella, and you can see the spawns are actually pretty unfavorable for Epsilon. This very well could be a near 100-ticket advantage from inFamous in the first half, and we have to be, considerate. There was one ticket in the first half of our first map. Now 100. I mean, that is unbelievable from inFamous, and that's a big statement towards that third map.
Let's see.
More ticket to fall. It is going to be 98 is your scoreline. And so now, with 98 on the board for inFamous, it feels odd to write that down next to just the 1. But you do only have 4 members of Epsilon now. Now that worries me.
Safe, I think he had a little bit of crash there again at the end. Happened last time. Not during the game though, I believe.
So they went at a disadvantage. That's a relief. And so
a lot of frustration.
Yeah, oh gosh, yeah.
Out of Safe. I mean, we know to be a very, very vocal guy,
which is great when you're winning.
It's fantastic when you're winning, but when you're losing, it hurts the team, who kind of depends on you to be that cheery guy, the guy to get them riled up and ready to go. And I'm assuming he's been in this situation enough times to kind of overlook where they're currently at, but not fielding their own 5, not playing as well as they should, losing the first half on map number 1 and 2 now, and 98 tickets. That's nothing easy to come back from. That's going to take a lot out of Epsilon to hold on.
Yeah, it's certainly not going to be easy to hold on to 98 tickets. I think then perhaps maybe want to spend the time more wisely and maybe start talking about the Golmud Railway. But, I mean, let's not rule them out. Epsilon, a team known to be able to keep a level and a steady head. Of course, that is an Epsilon as a team, which, of course, we've already mentioned countless times, that they are, of course, running with that substitute Fraud ex-SK member, now just acting as a sub for the Epsilon side today, in place of Duke PT, or just Duke. I kept calling him Dukept at one point, I think, which he opposite of loved.
What about Bankai?
Oh, was it Hexus?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that
was my favorite. Because I could see this look of disappointment in yourself every time you said
every time I said Bankai. I mean, it's just because, when you're in the heat of the casting moment, you just see a name and you go with it. Which is why when you fake nick, that just drives a caster insane. Because you start calling someone like Cat Jesus or whatever they've decided to call themselves, and you just feels wrong.
Well, no update on Safe. Just waiting for the reconnect. So Alex.
So Jason.
Groups are coming up soon. We're going to have offline playoffs here at ESL Studios, I believe.
Yeah,
we'll have an Oceanic team.
That's going to be awesome. And an A team, right?
And an A team. And how bad are you going to be hurt when NA stomps Europe?
How badly? I know that I'm excited to see what NA has to offer. I mean, I have very little intel on what the NA scene has really going on for them. And so it's going to be so cool to see the top team come over and really just maybe teach EU a thing or two, or maybe we'll see quite the opposite of the EU side just putting NA back in their place. I know you're going to be kind of really... We were saying before, weren't we, that you're going to have like a US flag tied around you.
Maybe.
I don't
know if that's smart to do in Germany, just like walking around with the US flag.
I don't think you have to walk outside with it.
Well, I mean, come on. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
Well, too bad there's no UK team that is going to make it to the groups, I think. Actually, let me double check that in the meantime, looking at groups. I'm curious to see if there's any UK team. Yeah, there's none. No, there's one infused, but there's no way they can get qualified anymore. Yeah. So both of us, at least I made it into the finals of the team.
Well, I'm now officially a fan of the Oceanic team.
I'm assuming it's going to be Vox, but last season they actually didn't make it. They gave their spot up to the next
Legionnaires.
team. What's Legionnaires?
Not sure
Where
how
did that come from.
That was amazing.
That was impressive.
Go Brain.
Wow.
But yeah, Legionnaires were the team who actually got the place, but were opted to kind of give it over, concede it, and give it to Vox, who are really the community favourites. And so they made the 30 hours flight, or whatever it is, to get over here to Germany.
Just to lose like
2-0? Just to lose a 2-0. But I mean, I think what's really fun when you see Vox in any game, the Australians, they come and they treat it as a kind of a holiday.
You just really like the kangaroo, don't you?
I do like the kangaroo. What's his name again? He's got a name. Oh, I can't remember. But they had a motivational
Ozzy the kangaroo?
No, it begins with like K, I think.
Kangi the kangaroo?
I think that might be close.
No way.
What am I pressing?
What are you pressing? You're hitting random buttons right now.
I think we have our full 5 back in the serve, and we can get back underway to see... What did I press?
I would love to tell you. But, you know, I'm a jerk, and I don't.
I can't work it out. I want to continue to press every button that I have. What was that? What button did you press?
C. Turn that off. Selection bar off.
Thank you. Wow. Accidental, just fat fingers managed to completely ruin our UI. I apologise, guys, but it's time. It's time to get excited. 15 seconds on the countdown. Epsilon up against inFamous. And the question is, can Epsilon overcome 98 ticket disadvantage going into half number 2?
That's a tall feat here, Alex. That is a really tall feat. And if they're going to do it, they have to start strong. Ow, they have to start really strong if they want to be able to pull this off. And we're going to see inFamous definitely off to a quick start, pushing straight towards C. And they should be able to cap it, though. I don't know for how long.
It's not going to be an easy one, that's for sure. As now David is just mounting the mountain as he's looking to find someone over towards C. Knows there's one there. You can see the C flag has been captured over, but nothing going to come of it just yet as he rains out nades. And they do exactly the same back to him. Great parkour over the mountain. He's going to be able to pressure onto one. Who was that? Hysteria completely caught off as he just jumped straight onto towards the helipad. Kremer going to be trying to contain him, but look at that positioning from David. It looks like he's fallen off the side, but I think Kremer a little too smart for that. Not going to fall for his games and manage to pick up the frag. And I'm just going to scale that so we can actually see absolutely everything that's going on. We can now turn our attention to that B flag, which looks like it's going to be pressured by the Epsilon side.
It's going to be pressure, but they have to cap it quickly. They don't have a lot of tickets left to play with. They have about, what, 40 left to go, if even that. And Safe is taking his time to actually go for this B flag. He has to make sure to pick up the necessary kills he needs, but then they have to bleed away 145 tickets on the side of inFamous. Like this, I don't think Epsilon can come back from this, but if they do, it would be one of the biggest comebacks we've ever seen here in Battlefield 4. And he's still taking his time. Like, he has yet to cap B. He's still just trying to find Rella, who's just toying with them.
He is. He's just baiting around with him. It's like the game Mousetrap, if you ever played that. Just kind of running around, setting various traps around this B side. That was one of them, just diving down into the depth to take Safe down. And, I mean, Safe, after investing so much time, comes back with nothing. Meantime, Hysteria, it's a 1-for-1 exchange. Fraud, the man to meet him on the A flag. And now Tony, what's your plan here? He's spawned around the B sites, but instead he's going to try and maybe lock down the entrances. You can see already on that overview, 3 members from Epsilon remain. Make it 4 now as the spawn comes in. Looks like they're going to be orientating themselves towards that A site, but there's a 4-man defensive stack there.
And they're waiting to go. They're waiting to receive this, and they've still only lost 9 tickets. Epsilon have less than 20 left to go. And if this push isn't successful, if they can't make their way into capital their flag, then that's going to be taking us to a 3rd map.
All right, a potential 3rd on the cards. Let's see what we have to say about that. Nade comes in. That could be a very good nade. Rella darting away for the reload, and he's going to get away with it. As now, I mean, they have such little margin for error. Epsilon need to kind of stabilize now, if ever, and I don't think they're even going to be given that. As great play from inFamous, managed to retake the A-B hold. 105 near squad wipe comes out in response, though finally Epsilon step up to the plate, but it all may very well be a little too late. That's already with Safe holding on towards this A site, realizing that they have a, what, 6 tickets to work with?
Nice. Look at you and your math. Fantastic. But 6 tickets. Well, we saw inFamous come back against 50 with 4, but 6 for 128, that might be stretching a little bit as this game does progress a little bit further. Epsilon still on the 2-1, have C, have A. I feel like it's only a matter of time here before inFamous do close out this game.
Yeah, I mean,
to map number 3.
Let's be honest, 98 in that first half, that means that these guys have 4 tickets to work with. That's just respawns alone. You're not going to get ever a vibe like that every single time. You saw Mek did manage to do that just there. That was David who was brought back from the grave. But yeah, very little margin for error, as I've said before. But inFamous, I mean, need to kind of wrap it up now. Interesting positioning there from Mayek. You can see it's going to give him exactly what he needs to try and catch off one of the inFamous members, and they need to get reined in towards the infirmary. They're going to make a final push, the very last push they want to make over here on towards the A flag.
They made their way through, they clean up the entire flag room, and they should be able to get the lockdown, at least neutralize on it, and they're spending, or they're forced Epsilon to spend a lot of tickets for these respawns. 2 men left to go to respawn back in. That will take them down to 99, and that means they only have 1 ticket left to go. And even then, they're still losing men left and right. So inFamous going to take it to mat number 3. On to Golmud Railway. Let me ask you something, Machine. Let me ask you something. You ready?
I'm ready.
Do you think Safe has an alter ego named Danger, spelled D8NGER?
Danger. Danger.
No, because Safe isn't 8.
Safe.
It's Safe.
Oh. Oh.
Do you think he has an alter ego named Danger with an 8 in it?
Safe Danger.
Get it?
Yeah, I do.
You sound so impressed that I came up with something like semi-witty.
That was quite. I'm sorry. I'm kind of like reeling from that one. That was Jason. That was fantastic. So yeah, maybe he has an alter ego. Maybe he has an alias. As, oh, look, the cameras remember. It's so weird. Like we come back, we're like, oh yeah, I remember this story we were telling. You can see on the.
I thought it was Battlefield 1942 though.
Me too. I don't know why they put 43. Oh,
maybe it's a hint.
Oh.
Wait, is there an HL anywhere on that wall?
Oh my god, maybe.
For hardline?
Hardline, mm-hmm.
Oh, you're really looking in depth. Okay, so there's a blue guy with a flag.
Battlefield, Bad Company 1, Bad Company 2, divided by Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 3 equals Battlefield 4. Interesting. And then there's a man holding a flag. I wonder if they had like the creators' kids just come in and say, "Hey, doodle," and then they put.
You know what? Actually, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's quite a cute idea, wouldn't it? Be like, oh, and there's this mysterious sound coming from nowhere.
Where's it coming from?
What's this?
Check the first floor.
The first floor.
Yeah, go downstairs. You did that last time.
Haven't learned my lesson. Oh, do you remember pegs? Did you have a peg? Oh.
Those were dangerous because I was at head height with those.
Because you're a giant. Okay.
No, it's not that way.
It's not.
It's that way. Maybe it's outside in that corner.
I can still hear it.
Other side of the wall.
Yeah, I'm checking. It's not. It is nowhere to be seen. Hello? It's loudest, right? Up these stairs. Here.
Is there speakers in the walls?
Maybe this poster's a magical one. It's got a creepy poster, actually. It's got like heads around his belt. Anyway, we are going to be going into live.
To realize that.
We are going to be seeing what on earth they choose to bring to the table. Not going to be seeing any magical engineering action as we go into our third map here in the quarterfinal. Epsilon on the left, Safe, David, Jesus, Mayek, and Hurricane. I did it again. And on the inside of inFamous, Hysteria, Tony, Zuzu, Crema, and Rella. And the rockets are flying. Blood is drawn as David opens up.
It's okay, Britney Spears. You did it again. But it will stop eventually. Maybe. We'll see. inFamous, though, getting rockets to the face, and Hysteria trying to catch a couple of pistol shots as the man's falling from the sky. That will be Epsilon off to a strong 2-1 start with flags. Keep in mind, guys, Epsilon, as you know, both teams are guaranteed now to be in groups, so they're fighting for seeding. Where Epsilon, they should guarantee to be top 4, unless like number 5 team does take first place. And inFamous are fighting to get a little bit ahead of the other teams to maybe avoid, the likes of Fnatic in first place, or maybe Epsilon in second. But we could see, a little bit of little bit of a showing of what we could see in a couple weeks from now when we have the groups kick off.
See what they've got for us here is now Tony darting back and forth. Rella's there to back him up. He's going to get pressured by David, but David is eliminated. And now straight off the bat, you can see inFamous, the red side, looking mean as they do take both A and C. And then cautious to not get caught out by Fraud coming up from behind.
He will be caught out from behind, but he will pick up the kill either way, giving Epsilon a little bit of a better hold here. A little bit better time as they do get the C flag back. And just making sure to check that groups do start on the 3rd. So next Tuesday, we'll be kicking off Group A on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then I think we'll have a couple weeks break. Until we kick off the 2nd group. I'm going to double check that now in the meantime as we do see a little bit of a slow push in towards B. And then we have, 17th. So yeah, a couple of weeks break since we have Katowice coming up before we kick the groups back off through B through C.
And so B and C under control now by the Russian side. Epsilon going to be trying to maintain them for as long as they possibly can, but already it's evident that the inFamous are not going to make that easy. Zuzu trying to pressure the window. There isn't going to be anybody to find, though. Instead, he's going to maybe try and open up some more terrain. Bit of levolution on Golmud Railway. As I love these 1v1s. This time it's going to be Hysteria and Mayek who are going to clash and actually choose to back away from each other because it's no longer a 1v1, it's a 3v1. And Mayek, as expected, does get taken down. Great 1-for-1. It's actually going to be from Safe, who has been having issues actually even getting into the game. But once he is in, he's doing great stuff, sitting on a very respectable 1-2.
He's doing some great stuff, sitting at 1-2.
Great stuff. That was his first kill. Oh.
But it won't be his last, hopefully. We'll see. 125 to 97. And Epsilon are still looking pretty good here. This map, I mean, it wasn't chosen by either of the teams, but I guess it technically kind of was chosen by both since we had the veto process and they knew what 3 maps were left in the pool before they picked the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And Epsilon seem to be a little bit more comfortable on this map. They're building up a lead, but about 30 tickets. It's continuing to grow. And I wonder what inFamous are going to do to kind of stop this. They have a back cut coming in towards C. And David's already in hot pursuit to stop this. Going to actually come around the corner and hit the wall to go for some damage, but he gets caught switching back to his gun. And that will be a free kill for inFamous. They're going to get C, they're going to get B, and this is going to be a 2-to-1 hold.
Okay, and you can see already they're spreading themselves out. inFamous really keen to try and maintain this very slight lead that they have kind of got a taste of in the 2nd map. Now here in the 3rd, you can see B and C captured over by inFamous for now. They have the advantage. The bleed is on. It's falling away from the Epsilon side. And now, what on earth is the answer? You see a whole lot of engineer classes. I feel like I'm seeing more rockets than I regularly do here on Golmud. Zuzu is questioning whether taking down that building is going to give his team an advantage or quite the opposite. Great spray from him, though. Takes one down around that school. It was safe to fall. And now C is being pressured.
He's being pressured and will be picked up by Epsilon with 2 people able to secure that one. Looks like Fraud was able to lead the charge. And back on the 2-to-1 hold. Again, just we're seeing inFamous just not comfortable on this map. As they keep getting caught off quite a few times. 32 to 22 in kills, so there's not that big of a discrepancy in kills alone. But 10 is still quite a bit. And you're still seeing a lot of these buildings being shot at multiple times here by these rockets to stop people from using them as cover. Wow. Crema. Looks like he's lagging a little bit, actually. So he's struggling just to get away from those shots.
I'll tell you what, playing in this map must be so difficult because you never know. You can't plan a strategy around terrain because you have no idea what's actually going to be left. It just gets taken away from you. You can't have, there's no predictability. There's no kind of strategy of holding a particular angle because that angle can be completely disintegrated by just one rocket. Now, Zuzu. Again, every time I cut to him, I feel like he's in this position around B. He's certainly made the site his own, as have inFamous made all of the sites their own at the moment as the tri-cap has come in. And now, Fraud, under pressure, has very little cover. This is exactly what I was talking about. That whole building that he previously would have used as cover is gone.
And you can't, like you're saying, you can't plan strategies. You can't say, all right, I'm going to hold from this building and hope nothing gets blown up. And that's what makes Battlefield really interesting when it comes to strats, when you can destroy some of the environment and, and allow you to change sorry, how the map is played out. Now Hork, though, very far away from any of the flags. Just showing him a little bit of information, trying to even contest this area. Does get the kill in this area, which should allow them to get some sort of control, maybe a push back in towards C. As inFamous, that lead that they, well, not the lead, but the lead that Epsilon had has completely disappeared. 71 to 66. We're almost at a tie game again. This is looking very reminiscent of that first map.
Yeah, it is. I agree. And this squad wipe coming in against inFamous, you can see just Tony remaining, and you can see he's probably going to go down. Wow, 14 HP finally. He is put to bed by Horek. And off the back of that trip cap, Epsilon stabilize with style as they take that AB hold. But for how long already? Rel first on the scene, and looks like inFamous are going to be kind of bum rushing on towards this A site.
And they picked up quite a few kills. 2 men left on the side of inFamous. Try to maintain anything. But they are getting a couple of revives in. They will get the A flag. And they still maintain C for now, as we do have Epsilon pushing straight in towards that. That will be back to a 2-on-1 for the side of Epsilon. And, you know, considering we're 7 minutes into the game, there's still a lot of destruction being had.
I mean, this is the most destroyed Golmud Railway I think I've ever seen. At one point, I think I need to pan over with the camera just to kind of highlight how little is left. In fact, it seems to be getting a bit quiet now. I will just take this as an opportunity to look at this. The school completely disintegrated. The entire A defensive building has been completely removed and crumbled. And over on the other side of things, the one that really makes me laugh, look at C. There is very few places to cover. Even some of the wall is gone. You've got absolutely nothing to really kind of hold the site from other than just this wall. We see a lot of teams favour this wall to camp over C, and that's pretty much all they've been given at the moment. As here comes Horek to maybe give us a prime example of just that. As there we go. It's exactly what I was just talking about, capping over from that corner. And I mean, that's all he's been given, and that's all he's going to take.
Well, that's all they're going to be given, as the ticket's still relatively close. Only 9 ticket difference now between the two teams, as inFamous are just fighting their way back, clawing tooth and nail to get back into this game. Another question comes, how long is that really going to last? Can they keep this momentum up? Can they stop Epsilon from getting some sort of a lead? And look at that, they're going to pick up a tri-cap here. They have done it. inFamous are going to be able to secure themselves a lead for the first time in this game.
Wow, 39 to 41. I mean, just but in the nick of time, inFamous have stepped it up again with that trip cap. But I mean, Epsilon, they felt like they've been at a bit of a disadvantage for a while now. 8 minutes in, and already with level tickets, they need to really deal with his trip cap efficiently. As Mek is going to get one. Looking for another one though, as he is trying to get the defib. He does onto Fraud, and it's vital to kind of preserve tickets as best he can, as he is going to roam around trying to continue this push, listening to the music that is still mysteriously being played in this building. You'd think by now that radio would have been destroyed.
Not if it's in the walls. Maybe it's just there to annoy the kids.
It's the poster. I think it's a bulletproof poster.
Bulletproof poster. Interesting.
Mystery.
Look at this. inFamous, though, after being down for the entire game, have the lead at 33 to 15. Now Epsilon with the 2-cap back should be able to claw away at that difference. What if we see another 1-ticket lead?
What if? Wow. I mean, 1-ticket leads are rare. 2 1-ticket leads in the same game, nigh impossible.
Extra rare.
Like
double the rare.
Like a good steak. There's now 25 to 14. Last man in squad. It's a full squad wipe from inFamous, and I mean, if ever there was a time for Epsilon to get it, it's now, as that's a forced 5, guaranteed lost 5 tickets that they managed to acquire, and that's going to level out the tickets once again. Considering though the bleed though is of course against inFamous, as I say that, the C site is secured, and that's actually no longer the case. But David is now sleeping with the fishes.
All right, 13-13. Game's all tied up. 3 respawns going to be forced out of Epsilon, though. It should drop them to about 10. inFamous getting the respawns back in as well. It's now at about 12 to 10. Should clear up to a tie here in just a few seconds. And that B flag still up for contention. Looks like it will be going the way of inFamous, as I have 4 men there to cap it over. C flag's left completely open. But this play out of inFamous is enough to get them the lead. It was a risky move, but it's paying out for them. They have to be careful. The C flag is being pushed on. And they have 1 man there to defend it, but it's up to him to pick up 2 kills. Safe, though. Trying to buy a lot of time, trying to watch for the crosses. And he will be able to get the first.
Okay, Jason, 4-8.
Hiccup.
It was an odd-sounding hiccup. As you can see, Tony just desperate to try and give his side anything. We saw they did have that 1-ticket lead in the first half.
Oh my gosh, it's not over.
Oh my lord, it's going to come down right to the wire. Every member on either side is just cautious to not respawn. It's all on Hysteria, Zuzu, and Rella as they have 1 ticket left. But the B-side hasn't been claimed. It is finally, and Epsilon do secure 3 tickets for that first half. I mean, it's not much, but it's something.
It's not much at all. You think back to the first map on Siege of Shanghai. What? Oh my gosh. All right, well, people disconnecting again.
God
but
damn it.
Nothing we can do about that, unfortunately. We'll have to wait it out for them to come back into the game so we can get this one back underway. Still impressive, though, that these two teams are still just battling head-to-head, and 3 tickets separates the 2 teams on Golmud Railway. Did not expect a scoreline like that, especially with how Epsilon really kicked the game off with. They had a giant lead, about 30-40 tickets, but they seem to lose control, seem to lose focus, and maybe that's what Duke's been able to offer the team when he's playing with them.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
yeah,
I can agree with that. I mean, we saw Mayek's frags there, 27 frags to 7. I mean, he's always been a player that people have considered one of the best. The question is legitimacy.
Yeah.
They've questioned, a lot of things about him. They've said that, he's a bit of an onliner, but he needs to do it online. Of course, when he first initially tried to do that, he was he had issues, but overall, I think that it would be a real tough. It would be really tough for anyone to say that he isn't one of the top 2 players in Epsilon.
Definitely. And it was hard for Epsilon in the second season to replace him, as they really kind of struggled to find someone who could, frag like he could. But they found it in Duke, they found it in David, and they're able to really step up. And Asterix as well was able to do pretty well when he was on the team at the time. All right, so waiting for the reconnects to come back in. inFamous waiting for that 5th man, and I think even Epsilon were complaining a little bit about lagging somewhat. But this is going to be a tough one, Alex. This is going to be a tough match. Keep in mind, Epsilon already secured themselves a spot into the groups, already secured themselves a spot into top 4, unless another team can rise up, one of the number 5 or 6 team to win the whole thing. Then you start to beat the likes of SK, Fnatic, Meet Your Makers. There's still a lot of really tough teams out there for inFamous to beat if they can pull this off.
I agree. I think you're right. And, of course, just keeping our eyes on that 5th member who has finally reconnected to the server, and we'll be able to get back underway to determine who is going to advance to the semi-finals. I'm intrigued to see whether or not we have the result from the other game. If it was a 2-0, we can probably tell you. Hang on, we'll just double check for you to see if we have a result yet, to see how the semi-finals are shaping up. So far, not so much. The other games that are going on, though, guys, we do have inFamous up against Epsilon, which, of course, we're bringing you now with MHSPSK, MYM, My Revenge, and, of course, Fnatic Maximum Pro. They're all going on while we bring you this one. And now let's see. 9 seconds on the countdown. We're going in. What have you got for us, inFamous? What have you got for us, Epsilon? And just 3 tickets as the advantage in their hands. Of Epsilon, thank you. I was sitting there like, wait. I wrote it down right in between the 2 team names. Okay, so Epsilon for the team who picked up 3, just about. As we kick this one off, I think we're going to hear an early rocket from David. We are, as he fires that one out. And what's that going to bring to the table just as we kick this one off?
That laugh that you just made. Oh, you're throwing me off here, Alex. Your laugh is contagious. inFamous on the Russian side, Epsilon on the Chinese side. And the first frag does go over to, I believe it was Epsilon. And either way, inFamous is going to be able to get an early 2-1 hold, C and B. And they've got 3 tickets to worry about. Again, 3 tickets isn't that much. It's not a big thing, so we're not really expecting that 3 tickets to matter too much when it comes into the end of the game. Though we have seen some things happen in the past where that can be a little bit different or change.
We have seen some things in the past, yeah, Jason, we have. As now, you can see Hysteria's positioning. He's going to try and spot someone out on that roof, but it's going to cost him his life. Great work from David with the ACR.
Where did the 98 come from on your notes?
No. Stop looking at my notes.
That was the second map.
Yeah, that's why I got confused. It's just completely missed.
I wish you could show you his notes right now. It's hilarious.
Numbers in all the wrong places.
All right, but we should get serious because this is our quarterfinal. We still have a semifinal and the grand final come up in a little bit of time, guys. And both these teams fighting for the chance to get into the semis and also get into the money. You have to keep in mind, semifinals does earn you a minimum of 100 euros. Second place earns you 300, and first place earns you 500. Not to mention the points that come along with it. inFamous now down to only 1-man Crema. Epsilon have every single person alive, and they're going to be able to pick up a 2-cap, picking up 3 frags towards the A site, and 1 frag in between C and A, which has given them a little bit of control, as you can see across the map. They have a nice little bit of line set up. They're really trying to force inFamous into this tight area. With a kill like that coming in with the rocket, it does open things up a little bit for inFamous.
It's so odd to see the C site in so much with so much concrete around it, considering how it was the state it was in, and that game came to a close in the first half. Now Hysteria, already I can hear buildings crumbling around him. There's safe in one of the few standing buildings. Does know there's a player around. Not gonna find him just yet. C-Flag being captured over in the meantime, though. It's Tony who is the man behind the magic. And now David, what have you got for us? A beautiful kill as he swings around into Cremo. Rocket as well to try and destroy as much as he can around this C site. And now 110 to 126. Epsilon seem to be having a much more controlled start as he did in the first half. Or than they did, sorry.
They're able to really, not necessarily lock down inFamous, but they're able to outfrag them so far. It's 19 to 10. They have a slight lead here. And they're trying to, I think it's, okay, so Epsilon, they were a team who like to hold on to 2 flags and just sit there and protect it. I don't know what Rella was just shooting at right there. And protect it. But inFamous hasn't been letting them do that, hasn't been letting them get comfortable and set up. And if you don't let Epsilon get set up, then they kind of, you know, you get these potential score lines of 3 unless Epsilon can't attack you back and secure the flags, which will allow you to get big numbers like Fnatic can pull off. So inFamous, this kind of like crazy hectic play is really throwing Epsilon off their game. And they could potentially beat them here. This would be a huge upset if they could do it.
It certainly would be. Jason is now, excuse me. Where did that come from? David on towards Rocks. Great 1-for-1 exchange. There seems to be great revenge frags coming in from Epsilon in this game. And now Rella, what's your plan here? Straight on towards that C flag, and Mayek's going to be trying to shut him down. The spot was there. He knows he's just around the corner, but he is in trouble. Not enough, though. Teammates are there to back him up, and Epsilon, they've just got such great cover. And it really is demonstrated was the word I was looking for. Not
demonstrated? Why'd you start with an R?
I was going to say relayed. Demonstrated, relayed in their frags, but in their tickets, sorry. As now B and C are in a lot of trouble. You can see just Horek 1v2 is not going to quite do enough. And elsewhere on the map, Hysteria, he's surely going to get caught out here. He feels so vulnerable when he's on that rooftop, but he's going to be watching his back, and he should be able to just about get away with his life as he just make his whereabouts known to David.
David didn't actually, I think, see where the shot came down, so he's actually going to get right back into the building, try to get on that high ground, get some sort of control, as even being shot towards, sorry, from that C flag. Anyway, the rest of the game's still going on over towards B and C. It looks like B will finally switch hands back to Epsilon, but look at the tickets, all tied up at 89 apiece. This one's going to come down to the wire. I would not be surprised to see less than 10 tickets remaining on both teams to figure out who's going to be able to advance further into the semifinals. To play a little bit later. Not sure who they'll be going up against, but they will be playing against the winners of Meet Your Makers and My Revenge. So not an easy game for either of these teams.
Certainly not. And I mean, I think we've seen the MYM Epsilon game before, and I mean, we know
every cup so far it's been that.
Exactly, and so we know just how strong.
No, every cup's what, one, sorry.
either way, we know just that both of these teams are in that top 4. Those are teams that, so the next game after this, seeing how Epsilon have struggled, this could very well be one hell of a grand final. And Mayek, wow, what a scoreline from him. He's died once. He seems to be a bit of a miracle worker when it comes to not dying, especially considering that, I mean, that death could very well have been at the spawn, trying to get a better spawn.
Could have been. Unfortunately, we can't really tell right now, but either way, they've been really kind of continuing to use him to their advantage. He's been really kind of stepping up into form, I think, in these in this best of 3. And he's been really able to kind of live up to the height that he had prior.
Yeah, definitely. He's had absolutely no issue really kind of showing us that it was just a matter of not being able to go to the LAN event. He was not quite old enough, and now finally, as he when he's come of age, he's really been able to show us that it was just
I remember
offline.
Yeah, last season when he was able to play in the offline, he completely shut everyone up in the first game that he played. He had a ridiculous kill score. It was like 23 to like 7, and it really kind of showed everyone that yeah, he can do it online as well as offline.
No, right. Other way around, right? Offline as well as online.
Yeah, that one. But it's only up about 25 tickets right now, and they need to keep this pace up. They are currently 2-1 against them. They're trying to catch C in the meantime, and they should be able to secure that in just a few seconds. And inFamous, if they want to keep, you know, maybe adjusting their seeding, if they want to progress further, they have to beat Epsilon right now. They don't have a lot of tickets left to go or to work with, but they do have the potential to do it. We've seen that alone in the past 2 maps.
What have you got for us, inFamous? And I mean, so far, it's just been a case of we kind of can kill Epsilon, but by the time we've got their sights, they're back, and they just not push us back time after time after time. But still, kills are level, 52 to... Well, actually, no, they're not. What? I was looking at their deaths. I thought I saw 49 and assumed, but no, 35 to 52. And actually, Epsilon, they are just running rings around inFamous in terms of frags.
They are, but the score, I don't think it really reflects how dominant it's been in kills. For the majority of this game. That will be B turned back on the side of inFamous. They're trying to claw away at this lead of about 32 tickets that Epsilon does have. It's going to be tough, but they're trying everything. They're giving it everything they have. And look at that, David coming in right from behind. But that wall that's usually there is completely gone at B because of how much evolution that's been going on. And Fraud trying to catch a couple of shots there. Unfortunately, can't really land them off the get-go. But we'll allow the rest of his teammates to respawn in, get that B flag back, and start that bleed again.
33 to 56, B and C are back under Epsilon rule. You can see, look how little Tony has to cover. I mean, they can basically sit way, way back in the fields behind B, and they can see people capping C. That's how much cover has been taken away from that site. In the meantime, you can see Kremer and I believe it's Grella trying to defend A as best they can, but David is doing just a bit of a too good of a job. Kremer last man standing, they know he's around, he's going to get pressure from every angle. He's gone now down and out, and Epsilon 51 to 23. This could very well be like 2, maybe even just 1 push left in the side of inFamous.
It might be 1 because this is going to be a tri-cap here.
Wow.
Epsilon going to be able to get the C flag and try to maintain a 3 front hold onto all these flags. B will be turned over. A 3-on-1 most certainly should be turned over back to inFamous. And yeah, this will net a couple of tickets of Epsilon, but it won't give them the favorable hold. It's going to be a 2-1 back for inFamous now. If they drop below 3 tickets, and they will have lost out. So they only have 8 left to work with. 9 left to work with. Epsilon are throwing everything they have, they can, at these flags.
Orek controlling that flag as best he can, and I mean, I think that may very well be enough. 9 tickets now remain, even less than that, of course, the 3 from the previous half. This is it, this is last doors for inFamous, just hysteria remains, and he has got absolutely nothing he can do. 42 is the leeway Epsilon now have still, as the last ticket falls in any second now. It's going to be 1 man to spawn, and it does fall, and that's going to mean that we do see Epsilon advance to the semi-finals of our very 5th cup and last cup. And the Epsilon in the Battlefield ESL One Spring season. So fantastic stuff to advance to the semi-finals. It wasn't an easy route for Epsilon though, and I think we expected to see perhaps a little bit of a more biased matchup. However, we do see great stuff from inFamous, especially on Siege of Shanghai. That was a great game for them, a great game that kind of maybe knocked Epsilon back into a bit of a kind of aroused state, like, whoa, we need to do something. And they eventually managed to do it, but it certainly was not easy. 3 tickets in that first half. I mean, that's a statement in itself that inFamous are strong. They are. I think they're probably at the top end of the mid-tier teams.
I think I would agree with you on that. Just to be able to take 98 tickets on Locker against Epsilon when they chose that map, Epsilon did. Not many teams can do that. Not even really Fnatic can do that easily. So maybe just Epsilon really out of work. Maybe it was just really showing how much of an impact Duke makes. Unfortunately, not going to be able to tell. I think Duke's out for the rest of the Cup. We'll be able to join them a little bit later on. But maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see in the groups. Both these teams should easily be able to make it there now. Epsilon for sure. inFamous, I'm 99% sure that they're now into the groups, but not sure which group they'll be in.
Yeah, and of course that will be determined by how well the rest of the teams play in the rest of this cup. See how the points start leveling out. I think we have, whether or not we've had any mid-tier teams continue to pick up points, I think actually already now we've seen PK or ex-PKD now, Maximum Pro have already lost out to Fnatic in their quarterfinal.
If SK and MWM make it through, then those 5 teams, or the mid-tier teams are locked. And it just comes down to, I actually don't know how they're going to organize seeding. Maybe it's who beat who in the past, but I don't think they've actually met against each other in the past.
We'll find out.
It's going to be difficult to see.
Yeah, so guys, we'll find out about that. We'll also find out which semi-final we're going to be bringing you. Hopefully it'll be very, very shortly. We've already got the results coming. We know the Fnatic result, we know ours. So once we get them all in, we'll be able to determine which semi-final we'll bring you, and we'll be sure to bring that as soon as possible. We'll see you very soon.